Research shows 8 in 10 Americans are burnt out with dating apps. This is according to a poll from Forbes Health. So for singles looking for the one in this modern age of dating, do you believe soulmates still exist? Dr. Frieda Birnbaum, our friend and research psychologist and psychotherapist, is joining us now to weigh in. Great question. Good morning.
Zach, do they still exist, but do they work? That's the real problem. We're having so much trouble today finding the right person. I don't know if there's anything more difficult in our lives. Just the switch of a button and we find somebody better or worse and we keep going. It's just too easy for us today. It used to stay in the neighborhood. There were 3 guys and that was the end of it.
Right.
Nothing else. You couldn't do anything else. But as far as what is a soulmate really, you have to have compassion, empathy. You have to have the same values. Those are the things that we really need to look forward to when we look for longevity in a relationship.
All great. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. You're absolutely correct. Talk to us, though, and I'm interested. I was actually thinking about what you were just saying, and it's so true. There was a time where you dated people within your circle or circles that you could see, right?
Yes.
And then, maybe the telephone came along and that was connecting you with Sally Sue or Tommy Tim, 2
Yes.
towns over. And then came the automobile and then you were driving to whatever it be. How, in this day and age, too, there is so much influence, whether it be technology or whatever, on relationships and soulmates.
Absolutely. And they don't even call on the phone. They text. God forbid they should talk to somebody. Are you kidding? We don't call, we text. Oh, okay. So what's the next step after that? And then we have to look at the fact that what do we need to do to hold this other person and have him interested or her interested in you? We need to support that person. We need to listen and we need to compromise. And those are the things, our narcissistic society today, me, what am I getting out of this? And basically you're getting what you're giving. So we really need to have a heads up and say, you know what? We have to be me alone, separate, and then we together. And that word we is not used often enough. So we're looking for 100%, which never works. 80% is often good enough. Or you get married later, maybe, have children later, maybe. But I want to share a little quick story, me with my stories, about my mommy, my mother, when I was 19 years old. So she tells me the way to get a husband, the way to get a man, it's similar to buying a pair of shoes. You go, if the shoes fit you, you wear them, and you're finished. Otherwise, you walk your feet off, and who knows if you'll find the right fit. I mean, this was my wisdom that I received. That's why I went to school, to find out more about life, because that's what she told me. So, this is what she set me out to look forward to, a new pair of shoes, I guess, something like that. But in reality, things are really changing, and you know that, Zach, with school. Do you know that 70% of the student body or the students are female today?
Oh, wow.
It's really amazing how we're changing in our society.
Yeah. And circling back around with soulmates, it is easy to at times trade up. But are people, through your line of work, from your expertise, are people holding out for soulmates in 2024, or are they just deeming everybody a soulmate and going through a long Rolodex of just people?
Well, they're absolutely holding out, and there is a long Rolodex as well. That's the problem. But they're getting educated more for a longer period of time. Women with in vitro fertilization also are prolonging pregnancies and childbirths. So they're getting married later. But here's the catch. Do you know that being romantic only lasts about 2 or 3 years within the relationship? Isn't that sad?
Oh, the honeymoon phase, right?
Honeymoon is over, Zach.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, If you're lucky, it lasts 2 or 3 years. But what really lasts in a relationship is being practical. Do you want children? Do you want to live close to your in-laws? How far away, or not at all? Because one of the biggest factors for arguments is calling each other's parents' names. I should know that for sure. We're very good at hurting each other. But what is, Zach, what do you think is the biggest reason, the most often reason why people get a divorce?
Oh, this is tough. I was going to say in-laws for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it not in-laws?
Well, it's an honest answer, but it's money.
Money. Oh,
Because
yes,
the
yeah.
way we
Of
spend
course.
money, my
Yeah.
goodness. Do you want to travel? Do you want to fix the house? Are you a spender? Are you a saver?
Are you
And
making
then-
money? Right. Yes.
Are you making
yes.
any money? And who gets what? And how much percentage do
Yeah.
we each get?
Yeah.
Is it even? If you make more, do I get the same amount for my activities as you do, or
Yeah.
not? Are you anal about what's going on with this money? So we really need to be able to work a lot of things out. I just gave you 3 or 2, but there's a whole list and range of reasons why people get a divorce. But guess what? The happiest people with all this work that I'm talking about are married couples, believe it or not. They are the happiest people. The loneliest people, it's similar, as toxic as smoking 14 cigarettes a day. Can you believe that? That's what loneliness does to you. But if you hug someone for 20 seconds, if you put your arm around someone, if you pat someone in the back, shake their hands, that alleviates loneliness, and it's easier than finding someone to marry today, especially. So if you want a really quick fix, go ahead and do that. And us looking at each other, eye contact, makes you less lonely, makes you connect to that other person. So do you feel less lonely now that you're talking to me?
Absolutely. You feel seen, you feel heard, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely, and I feel the same way. I feel better. So it's that connection back and forth and the effect that it has on you when we're talking, because then you personalize what I have to say, and hopefully you go on and do things that make a difference in your life. But do remember, we look for perfection. And as you said, in today's society, what's going on is that we really don't stay in a committed relationship because everybody argues, everybody has issues, but because of this contract, this license, they stay together. Well, today is they live together and then they argue and then they move on to the next person who they argue more with. And so it's so easy to leave. There's no reason to work it out because there is conflict in life. But in reality, the best thing you can do for yourself is have a committed relationship with somebody who's there for you. And you will argue. You will have opportunities to make it up. But then again, when you do have those opportunities to make it up, you need to reassess and support those. Because a lot of people, especially women, will go back and say, you said this 20 years ago. And the guy will say, what are you talking about?
Not
and
the women.
Right, Zach?
Right.
And they'll bring that negativity back into the relationship that was already going well. So what do they want? We don't have to fix it. If you have to fix it, then you're in the wrong situation. You should be with somebody who's already in a healthy situation. You're happy. That's when you meet somebody the most that is healthy like yourself.
Yeah. And I think too, in this day and age, we live in a society that puts so much emphasis on the grass being greener on the other side, and that's not always the case, right? Working through these hardships and the respect, gaining that respect, maybe losing some respect too, makes those people stronger along the way.
50% of marriages end up in divorce.
Wow.
75% of second marriages end up in divorce. So there's something definitely wrong with the way we look at marriage. It used to be divorce was a disease. Now people go out and they celebrate and they have parties. So it's like something to look forward to. And so we need to get a real description of what commitment is, and hard work is easier. And remember, people are happier, believe it or not, when they are together. So these parties you can make can be together with the family. There's nothing better than that. And therefore, when we look at divorce in the past as an illness, and today we celebrate it, we have to look at marriage as something that's to be celebrated. And marriage is something that's worth working on. And therefore, when you meet your soulmate, and 2 years or 3 years at the most, which is even a stretch of the romantic part, look at what it is that this person can do for you in the long run. Are you on board? Do you have the same values? Where do you want to live? What is it about the way you argue? Are you a silent arguer? Are you somebody who is really hysterical? Women are often hysterical. The men are usually silent, and that's a killer for the women because they don't respond. They're ready to hit them over the head, and they're still not responding. So that's very difficult, how you argue. Some of the things, before you get into a committed relationship that seem minute, really become this focus in the center of the problem solving. So really look at those issues of what it is that you see yourself doing. Even vacations, what kind of vacations do you want to take? What kind of music do you like? What kind of dressing do you like? Do you like to dress casually? Do you like to go out and get dressed up? Those are the things that are everyday life, because it's the little things in life that really make the big difference. And those are the things that we really bicker over in the long run.
I thought you said dressing, so I was thinking the salad dressings.
Oh my God! Well, that's true. That's also a factor. You know, you got the Russian dressing.
You're
I
right.
wanted the olive oil.
That's the one that I don't like. I don't like that one.
You're doing it on purpose to upset me. You
I
don't care.
Dr. Birnbaum.
That's the problem.
It's always a pleasure chatting with you. I appreciate you very
Bye.
much.
Take
We'll talk
care,
to you
sir.
soon.